Hello and welcome everybody to our podcast. This is Welcome to Livingston. And my name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela.
And we are really excited today. We're excited to be here in the studio. And our guests today are Andy Toteff and Justin Newman from Nextdoor Photos. So welcome, guys.
Hi. Hello there. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to have you aboard.
Yeah.
You guys are some of the people that make the magic behind the scenes for all of our listings, and we are so grateful for that because it really makes a difference.
Awesome. No, that's good to hear because we really enjoy what we do, and you know, hearing hearing that come back to us is just really good. So yeah,
honest to goodness. Yeah. All of our sellers love you guys to pieces. It's exciting. We even had one today that just, saw the photos of their home and it was just like, wow. So,
well, and it's a important part of the process, and it's a stressful part of the process for some people. And you guys make it look really easy, and you're a real valuable resource to what realtors and what me and Angela do personally. So we wanted to welcome you today. So why don't we start off with, tell us a little bit about your company.
First, thank you for having us. My name is Andy Toteff. I am the local owner for Nextdoor Photos. Nextdoor Photos is a Michigan-based company. So about 6 years ago, a couple of young men were actually shooting vacation homes on the west side of the state. One of them put their house on the market for sale. His friend was a real estate agent, decided to take the photos himself. Word of mouth got around that he was shooting real estate photos. Things got busier. He pretty quickly partnered with his roommate and said, hey, how can we do this to help make an impact for local photographers, local real estate agents, and maybe scale this thing? So a year later, things were just starting to get moving. We only had 3 or 4 locations across Michigan. I jumped on board and, found great photographers like Justin here, and things kind of took off. So now our location or our region is all of Southeast Michigan. So we cover from everything from Jackson to Flint to inside of Detroit, Port Huron, Ann Arbor, all of that area. And we love Brighton because it's the central hub of everything we're doing in Southeast Michigan.
Like to think so.
So we offer everything from photos to floor plans, videos, drone, aerial work, 3D virtual tours, listing websites, everything that you can help market a home visually. We'd like to think that we're the one-stop shop for it. So
excellent. But it certainly makes our work a lot easier for sure, being able to trust that component.
Yes, no, thank you. And I mean, equipment has a lot to do with it. Our photographers and their eye, and just even the way that they move throughout the house makes it so much easier on a homeowner, right? Because this is their biggest investment financially, right, as you guys know. Mm-hmm. And when you walk into a house, Justin knows better than I do that there could be 100 different reasons why they're moving, right? And it can be very stressful, and we want to make sure that they're at ease as well as our customers like you guys too.
Exactly. And one of the biggest things is as agents, we think we can do everything. But when we first started out, we tried doing the pictures ourselves. And they
came out very nice.
Oh, I thought I was doing an amazing job till we had you guys come in to do it professionally, because not only is it a different eye, it's the equipment, and it's, there's nothing worse than you take all these pictures and then you go and look at them and later like, oh my gosh, my arm's in that shot. Oh my gosh, this is, the lighting was wrong in this one. That you think you can do it, but you guys are the professionals.
Our clients deserve the best is what it boiled down to. And while we could do a great job, we couldn't do the level of the job that you guys do. And that's why we invest in you guys for all of our listings, to pay to have, all kinds of services, and particularly the video was something that it sounds like not as many people are doing now, but that's something I definitely want to touch on.
Yeah, as far as the video goes. Yeah. You guys obviously use us every time, and you get the video done, which I think video is an extremely important aspect of having some kind of media done for a listing, because it gives a person an actual feel of going into the home, and it's not just a photograph. So I think you get that extra level of immersion, I guess, if you want to use that word, of actually experiencing the home.
And so many people are coming in from out of the area and out of state where they can't physically walk through the house because the homes sell so quickly. So they really count on that video to feel like they've been through the home.
Right.
And that's one thing that I think is just huge.
No, it really is. So, but to start off, how would you say that you or homeowners or agents in general should prepare to have you guys in? Because, we go in, we do the paperwork, and then we say, okay, we're going to schedule for photos.
Right. So firstly, we have a checklist that we use that we hand out to any customer that comes to us. And I believe that can be found online. I want to say on the website.
It is, yep. And it's included in the order confirmation as well.
Right.
Yeah. And so the checklist is very important. It gives you a list. It gives the homeowner and the agent a list of all kinds of things to do prior to the shoot. It's just a big prep list. And we're talking just lights, things that come down, like just lights and toilet seats being down, having the curtains open, making sure it's as decluttered as possible. I know you guys have had a couple podcasts, mentioning the decluttering aspect of things. So
for sure.
That's definitely important for photos. It's just a big list of things. I don't know them off the top of my head. But.
Right. I mean, things like if you've got dogs, if you've got kids, if you put toys away, dog beds away, dog dishes.
Right.
We all love our kids and our animals, right? But when someone is coming to view the house, whether it's in a photo or in a showing, you want all that to disappear, right? So
Absolutely.
less is more. Make the house look as big as possible. Clear off countertops in the kitchen and the bathrooms and everything. And the checklist, I think, is like 40 or 50 points. And if you were to have your homeowners do half of them, you're in great shape.
Right.
Got you.
Great shape.
And I know Justin's been so good to come in and say, well, let's move this a little bit. Or I let people know, get as much done as you can, but we can move something out of the room and move it back into the room. So it has that look for the pictures.
Right. And even all the way to rearranging furniture, which I think I may have done maybe
Once or
a couple
twice,
times
yes.
with you guys
Yeah.
where just opening the room up, you want to make the space feel open and homey, so
Right.
you don't want it closed off, because a lot of times what you see is it may be comfortable and much better in an actual living situation, but having a sofa in the middle of the living room cutting the room in half,
that all the
isn't
time.
always the best thing for photographs. So
Right.
we like to move those around and just open the room up a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay.
And as we prepare our sellers frequently, we will point to, all right, these are the things that you're going to want to do for your specific home prior to our photo date. And then this is the list for after. So in terms of, if they tuck something into a closet in time for the photos, then at that point they need to clear those things out. So
Yep. And one question I've always been meaning to ask. So we talk to our clients about asking them, what's the best time of day for lighting? Because they know their house better than we know their house for when it comes in. But you guys use such good equipment. How important is that?
So I would say if you have a nice clear day, you're probably going to want to aim morning, afternoon, where the sun is low in the sky. And it kind of depends on a few different things, though. If you have trees, we've had situations where you have a lot of trees around the property. It's a bright, sunny day. It's midday, so you have those sun breaks that come through and hit the house, and it kind of makes it look kind of weird, because you have all the shadows from the tree branches and
true.
things that hit. So we've had instances where agents come to us and say, "Hey, can you edit out, the shadows on the roof?" And it's like, well, it was the time of day. It was really sunny, So the ideal day is a cloudy day, midday, where it's still bright. You don't get those harsh shadows. Much like any other form, I guess, of photography, if you're taking pictures of people outside, you don't want those hard shadows, just like houses. You don't want hard shadows coming from the roof off, and, you get those really high contrast areas. So if it's cloudy, or if it's early in the day, like morning or late afternoon, when the sun's going down. So you have really soft light.
Wow. So that's really important. So, but that brings to the next question leads right into the editing process. What is the editing process like?
So to kind of carry on with what Justin was saying, we put in a blue sky in all of our photos.
Right.
So the common misconception is, I want to make sure it's a clear blue sky when we take photos. Well, as you just learned from Justin, that's not necessarily the best thing. A light, cloudy day is ideal. But yeah, we drop in a blue sky. So we actually prefer the cloudy skies over the sunshine because of the harsh shadows. And we actually have an editing team that's overseas in the Philippines that handles all of our editing done here in Southeast Michigan. The cool part about that editing team is it's run by a couple of missionaries over there. They're both not from the Philippines. One's from Australia and one's from Europe. They went to the Philippines to help human sex trafficking victims. And so he's a tech guy. What they were doing prior to us was just training them how to get, Excel spreadsheets, numbers, things of that sorts. And then once they were rehab through physical, mental health, they trained them and then send them out to go find a job. Problem was, if they didn't quickly find a job, then you're at high risk of falling right back into, those previous habits. And so we partnered with them, trained them how to edit photos, edit videos, floor plans, all of those things. They're a perfect 12-hour time difference than us too. So we wrap up uploading all of our photos from the day at 8 p.m. They're checking in at 8 a.m., edit all night. Things are ready the next morning for you guys as well.
Great. I mean, it seems like such a great win-win situation. Because from what I understand, they make a better wage than they would otherwise.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
It builds them up.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about
teaching them skills.
Yeah, people that are working with us and partnering with us. I mean, it's not just some team that we found online. This is our team, our company. I was actually over in the Philippines in 2019 before COVID hit. Spent a week and a half over there with the team, seeing the offices, learning names and faces and all those things. And people that are working with us over there are helping support entire families, which is just fantastic.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
So makes you feel good about what you do,
And I know they do such a great job with editing, because we always tell our clients that, the sky's always going to be blue and there's a fire in the fireplace. But it wasn't till we had a shoot where it was nasty and it was raining outside. And the pictures came back and it was blue skies.
It's like, this wasn't the same day.
This was not the same day.
Yeah.
Well, and frequently people will say, how can this be my house? Because it just pops off of the screen, almost like, off of a magazine or something.
Yeah. We have tremendous editors. We really do. And pretty much whatever we throw at them, they can do. I don't know how many times I've asked, hey, can we remove these cars, out of the driveway? And yeah, they'll do it.
Wow.
Cool.
They'll change things around for you. Yeah. Within reason.
Yes, this is true.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because sometimes we've had some realtors give us a hard time that the photos look too nice. But it makes me think too, sometimes people talk about dating apps, and are you going to take a photo of what you really look like?
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
just in the best possible light. So it's still the same house that's for sale. It's just in the best possible light.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the idea is never to give misinformation on the home,
Correct.
Right.
but to show enough about the home to
really pique
pique
someone's
interest to get showings on the house, right? That's the idea.
Right.
And the more showings and the more people that come through the house, the better it is for the homeowner.
Yes.
Right. Well, and that's where it comes with the professionals. You guys know the angles to take the photos at. You don't need 6 pictures of the same room. One picture, maybe 2 pictures can tell the story. And then that's what we like about the video as well, because where the photos give one aspect of it, the video gives that more real life walkthrough of the home. Mm-hmm. And I guess that leads into the 3D, which we don't do all that much, but we were wondering if you guys could tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we have a couple different kinds of 3D tours. I believe we're still doing the NDP 3D tours as well, which is kind of our version of a Matterport tour, which is what we also do. We do Matterport tours. And then also that which shall not be named, the Zillow 3D tours as well. So we do all 3 of those. Basically, a 3D Matterport tour, I'll go into that, is we have kind of a larger camera. I believe it has 9 lenses on it. I believe it's 9. And we just walk it through the house. It spins in a 360 degree, all the way in 360 degrees. And we just keep moving around the house. And what it does is it stitches all the photos together and creates a 3D blowout of the actual home that you're shooting, and you can go back in later on and you can click into certain areas of that house and kind of zoom in and pull out, and you can move the whole entire 3-dimensional house around and kind of look at it in a different way. And you can also just point and click and walk through the house as well. So, and we use Matterport cameras and Ricoh Theta cameras for those shoots. So yeah, they're fairly straightforward.
Well, it kind of solves that problem of the buyer that walks in and says, "Oh, I was wondering where the laundry room was. I couldn't figure it out from the pictures. It wasn't in the video."
Yeah.
Where you're able to look around.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe the Matterport tours, they can be incorporated with the floor plans and actual photographs as well. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah. Because that Matterport camera has such a high resolution camera, a lot of people will pull images off of that Matterport camera, and when it scans the entire house, you get a perfect layout of it and extremely accurate room dimensions as well.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Right. See, there's so many different options.
Yeah.
And I know drones have been an interesting thing too.
Yes. Yeah. Most of our photographers, I believe, are 107 certified, or they're looking to get 107 certified. And what the Part 107 is basically the FAA says you can fly a drone for pay, for you can use that as part of your business. So, and we really emphasize that to our photographers because it is a growing aspect of real estate photography, and it's getting bigger. It's just getting bigger and bigger. And so, yeah, the drone photography is a big thing. We offer a couple different packages there. We have a 10 photo package and then also a 3 photo package now, which is fairly new as of, I want to say April. We just started.
Yeah, like a week ago.
Yeah, like a week ago. So,
So that's good. So that's for those people that maybe think, I maybe want drone, but not exactly, and it just gives them that taste then.
Yeah. What I find is that the people that typically order the 10 photo package is like lake houses, places with a lot of maybe buildings on the property.
Much acreage, outbuildings, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Otherwise, people are like, well, 3 will do. We just want to show the a lower one, showing the back part of the property from the front, and then something higher up, showing the entire property. So you can usually get that done with a few. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. This is good to know, because there certainly are some homes that, we list that are right inside a neighborhood, and we don't necessarily want to feature that they're so close to other houses. So we're very careful about selecting drones for that.
And that's almost exactly why we're doing the 3 photo pack, because the 3 photos doesn't necessarily have to be on a lake or near town or on property. Just the elevated look, just makes the house look awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
And then you guys do video off the drone too. You have that option?
We do, yeah. That's just another product that we offer, the drone video. And I love doing drone video, mostly because of the challenge of it, really. It's, but yeah, it can be incorporated with the home walkthrough and the regular photos. That can all be stitched together as one.
Got you. So here's a question then, because I know you said cloudy days, overcast days are good for the photos. How does weather affect being able to do the drone?
It kind of gets a little weird there, but
like today we're not flying the drone.
Okay,
no.
with the snow.
Yeah, it's snowing here in Brighton, right? So we're not flying the drone today.
I mean, there aren't many days where I won't fly it.
Okay.
But that's where drone insurance comes in handy. So
I remember we
I've
did
crashed
one on a drizzly day before.
Yeah, and I've crashed my fair share. I think Andy can relate to this one too. I've crashed my fair share of drones. So I'd like to think that I've learned my lesson. But flying it, rain is always kind of, you don't want to expose batteries to wetness, obviously, and the same with snow and stuff. And then you got to think about the cloud. The cloud level, like how high the clouds are, and that fly the drone in the clouds. So, yeah, there's a few things, but for the most part, you can find a way to get it up in the air.
Wow.
Yeah.
Some of our experienced team members, like Justin, we've got a couple others that will even go as far as trying to weatherproof their drone too.
Really?
So that way they can fly in wet conditions. I wouldn't necessarily tell them to do that, but if they feel comfortable doing that and they like pushing the limits, then by all means. The only thing that we can't do in editing for drone video is edit out the blue sky. We talk about the blue sky and everything that we do. In video and live footage, we can't do that.
Got you.
That makes sense.
Yep.
That does make perfect sense.
Great. And then speaking of some of those editing, one of sort of our favorite little add-ons that we've picked up in the last 6 to 9 months, I think, is those Twilight photos. So it looks right at sunset, and really
Yeah.
kind of pops and stands out.
Yeah, and I believe we have a couple different packages as far as Twilight photos go. We have an actual Twilight shoot that we do, and then we have Twilight conversions that we do as well. And an actual Twilight shoot, it takes place around the golden hour, just after the golden hour. I want to say it's an hour after sunset, usually. And it's where you turn all the lights on in the house, open up all the curtains, and you get that nice interior lighting along with that low light sky. And more often than not, we do an actual conversion-ish as well on top of that if we do the actual shoot, because you're not always going to get the awesome colors, of that, that sky, the purples and the reds and things like that. So we still do a conversion along with that. But then we also have the actual Twilight conversion where we'll take pictures in the middle of the day and our editors will edit in that those nice pretty colors and things that you get, from the late time of day.
Right. No, those are always nice looking, and then you see the lights on the front of the house, and there's that glow and such, and those are the ones a lot of times where our clients see them and they're like, "Is that my house?"
Yeah.
We took photos of my sister's house. Next Door Photos did. She was listening through an agent that was out of town. She's from the other side of the state, but we did the Twilight conversion for her, and the agent didn't know that. He got the photos back to list it. He's like, "Did they come back at sunset?" No, that's the edited Twilight sky.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we love those. I mean, they really differentiate themselves. And even sometimes if a house doesn't have the level of curb appeal we might like, or if it looks a little more plain, which some homes do, that's just a way for it to still stand out.
Yeah, I would say the live photos that Justin was talking about, that's time consuming, and it's you really have to hope for an awesome sunset type thing. And typically a live photo shoot like that is a really special piece of property.
Right.
It's typically in the 7-figure range or more, and you're really trying to showcase something to whereas those standard conversions look pretty good, easy, and it's only one trip rather than 2 trips.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's part of the challenge, not making it more than one trip, when it comes to the live shoot as well, because, we are coming back if we can't get the time scheduled, at a point to do the regular shoot toward that time of day, so we do have some back and forth there. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's why the conversions are so appealing.
Got you. Got you. Hey, one of the things I wanted to go back to on the video for a second, what I've seen recently, and Angela myself hasn't done it yet, is we see some of those videos where the realtor is actually introing the video, and then they're doing like some interesting things, sometimes with drone shots, other things. Are you guys doing some of that?
We are, and we actually just opened up a couple more products incorporating that, and that was something I was going to talk to you guys about too at some point, that I wanted to start getting into as well. But yeah, we do have a few regulars that use us that use that, and they get in front of the camera and they do a little walkthrough, with us, and then we edit it just like we normally do. Yeah, I'm sure Andy has more to talk about than that.
Yeah, we've been doing. We've been doing this basically by special request over the last couple of years. And again, sometimes it's an agent that really cares about branding, or it's a house in a neighborhood, or it's just off downtown Brighton and they want to talk about the town, and they don't think a typical voiceover would do it, right?
Yeah.
So we've had some agents, almost like comedians, come in, and they're like, they want to come in riding a jet ski on a lake property, or they're coming in off of a 4-wheeler or something. And it took us a little while to figure out exactly how to standardize it and to really help agents and homeowners. Yeah. And we've gotten to the point now where Justin just said, within the past week, we refreshed and rebranded, and we've got all kinds of new products out there. And now this agent on camera is part of it. So you can do a full crib style walk through the entire house. It's time consuming editing and capturing, and an agent will a lot of times want to take 2, 3, 4 takes for a given segment, whereas a simple intro at the beginning of the home to introduce the area, the house, yourself, and then go into the walkthrough video with the normal music is typically probably the best result of those types of videos.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so we're really excited to get going on it, to get more of those underway, because I feel like that could be a definite perk, when it comes to selling, putting yourself out there like that.
Right. Well, agents are always looking how to differentiate themselves, but at the same time, we're always working for our sellers and looking how to differentiate that house to be able to give that unique feel for it. So I assume, in the past, it's like you said, it's the unique houses. They're coming in off the lake and such, but that is a really good aspect of something to be able to incorporate.
I love that you have this growing repertoire of things that we can use as realtors to help feature each house more individually, right?
Right. We're always trying to know what's coming and what trends are coming, whether it's on the East Coast or out in California. What are they doing, and how can we incorporate it here in Livingston County? I mean, you would never compare what's going on in Livingston County to Orange County or to Boston or New York, but we're trying to stay relevant with them because the market's always changing, and we always want to make sure that we're helping you guys and the homeowners out as well.
Exactly.
Excellent.
And that leads into the fact that your company works exclusively with realtors then, right?
Correct. Yep. Next Door Photos is a company. We do real estate and only real estate.
Right.
We hire and partner with freelance photographers that do all types of things. I mean, everything from weddings, senior portraits, videos, commercials. One guy was involved in wakeboarding competition, so he would travel the country doing wakeboard competitions on the weekends, and then he'd come and shoot for us during the week. A lot of freelance work, if not all freelance work, is all nights and weekends. So a lot of these freelancers are working nights and weekends, and then they're looking for that 9 to 5 or that daytime job Monday through Saturday, and we're able to partner with them to help provide that gap. The cool thing is that because our umbrella only handles real estate, we'll have homeowners who's moving across the country and they have cars to sell. They've got a boat to sell. And they say, hey, will you guys take pictures of this stuff? I'm like, well, we're not going to do that under our umbrella, but Justin, who was just on site, will take care of the car, the boat, whatever else they're selling as a part of it to help, give them something that they can keep as a memory keepsake, but also put on the market, Facebook, Craigslist, whatever is out there to sell. And then it helps a good image sell better and faster, just like a home would.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So probably for this freelance wing would be a great resource for someone maybe that might want to do some before and after photos they may not plan to move, but if they're doing some major renovations to their home, just to be able to see the after effects. Would you put it on their social media? Would that be something that your freelance group could help with?
Absolutely. I know Justin would, along with the rest of our team, but we do work with a couple of investors in the area too that are like doing flips, and so they want to take pictures of this. They want to rip out the cabinets and paint walls. We can do that for anybody. Doesn't have to be a real estate investor, real estate agent. If a homeowner wants to completely redo and reno their backyard, we can take before and after photos of that as well.
Awesome.
Well, and one of the things that I love and why I think the video is so important. So we ourselves moved about 1.5 years ago, and Justin came in and did the pictures for us moving and such, but we didn't get a chance to do the video till a couple days later, and the house was already pending, but we did the video so that we would have it. And, for homeowners, you always hear about, oh, my old house went up for sale again. And, you want to knock on the door, you want to see that, to have that video, to have those pictures of this is what my house looked like. This is where I came from to where I am now is just a great aspect of having those professional photos.
Yeah, there's been a couple times where I've actually gone in to shoot strictly because they wanted photos of their home, as a keepsake, and they wanted that memory and they wanted to be able to put them in to a photo album, and remember them. So, I mean, whatever reason you're shooting them for, we'll shoot the home. So, yeah.
Even estate sales, even if they've got parents or loved ones that have passed away, a lot of times before they list it, come in, take photos as is with grandpa's favorite chair in the corner, the kitchen with all the old, cookware and everything like that. Shoot it, send it to us in a file so we can keep it, and then they'll completely reno it for put it on the market.
Right.
So.
Well, that's a great suggestion too. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Because the homes are really more than just a home or more than an investment. You know, it's the emotions that are involved.
And that's something that we, as real estate photographers, we really have to keep in mind when we go into somebody's home, because we are getting these little snippets into people's lives, and we have to understand that, okay, these things are important to them, so,
right.
When we start moving things around and start rearranging things, it's, throwing stuff around, moving dog bowls even,
right.
So people can be, attached. Well, why do you want to move the dog bowl? Dog's my family,
right.
I've gotten that before.
Talk through with our sellers ahead of time so they know what to expect.
Yeah.
But the other thing we see a lot of times is when we're doing a listing appointment, we're talking with the homeowners. Sometimes you can get a feeling for this isn't a really important room to them. This is someplace that they spend a lot of time or they did a lot of work to. Mm-hmm. And then, when the photographer comes in, to let them know, hey, this room is...
We want to feature this prominently.
Yes, because that's important. They understand that. So, we try to work with them. And you guys are such professionals. I mean, we have Justin most of the time, but anyone we've worked with at your company has come out and done a really good job. And I think that personable aspect of being professional, understanding that they're going into somebody's home and working with them through that process, I'd have to say that you guys are a great partner for that.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
I can't get over that more realtors don't come and show up for the photo shoots. That is kind of what amazes me.
That's what I love about you guys. And I was just telling Don this at the last one, is that you guys show up to every single one. And that's great. We love it when the agents are involved with the shoot,
Max, we work together on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Certainly, and I think since we know how each other work well, that's what allows the photo shoot to go as well as possible.
Yeah, 100%.
More smoothly for the homeowner themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming from your aspect, there's kind of a feel that you get for each home. How does that process work? When you're coming to a house, do you, this is the way I'm going to shoot it, or you just kind of take it each one individually, or?
Yeah. So, I mean, whenever I go into a house, I do a quick walkthrough, make sure all the lights are on. I start there, and that gives me the chance to actually get a feel for the house, get a flow for the house, and how, you can move through it. And that's where I actually start taking mental pictures of the actual angles I'm going to be getting of each room and seeing how everything's laid out and whatnot. And then I can come back and start and already have that mental picture ready to go. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I think is really interesting, because we have one particular subdivision that we sell a large amount of homes. But somehow the photos don't just look all alike. It's great because I think Justin already has a feel for, with each of those models, where he's taken shots. But, to really kind of focus in on having them feel fresh. They don't feel like the same home over and over.
Right, yeah.
So that kind of speaks to the whole freelance aspect of it. Do you guys, when you bring someone in, do you have them shadow? Is there a training program? How does that work?
Yeah, we're actually going through a hiring process right now because it's spring and you guys are swamped in houses. So, so part of the interview process is a shadow shoot before we even talk about a job offer or anything like that. So they'll go onto a shoot with Justin, and Justin is essentially not training them, but just talking him through what he's doing. This is what I'm looking for. This is the feel for the house. We have a dog. We've got kids. The homeowner is stressed, whatever the case may be, just to make sure that it's well communicated to that photographer and the expectations are there. And pretty quickly you can tell, there's all different kinds of freelancers out there. Most of them are people persons because they're at weddings, they're at senior portraits. If we want people that are taking pictures of trees and birds and they don't talk to people ever, they're typically not going to mesh well when it comes to like what Justin does and does so well. Right. Reads the house, reads the situation, and then the photos come out different, like you said. Yeah. That is definitely a part of the hiring process. Once we do hire them, then they go on another 6 shadow shoots. So, I mean, they're going from getting explained on every shoot and what's going on, entry of the house, front house, angles, to then them getting behind the camera and still someone following them and talking through any questions they might have.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I think having our photographers understand that it's not just taking pictures of homes. There are several aspects to actually, as far as, being personable and interacting with, homeowners and agents. It's a very large part of what we do, because that's the impression that we're leaving, and not just the quality of what we do, but the people we are as well and how much we care. Yeah,
absolutely. because making sure that experience is a positive one for everyone only helps everyone.
Absolutely.
100%. So I guess one final question on that is for homeowners out there or for agents that are listening out there, what's that, I guess, one piece of advice or reason why you shouldn't be doing it yourself? You should be hiring the professionals to take care of this important aspect of it.
Go for it.
I was going to let you go first. Yeah, I think it's going to be the editing is going to be the biggest part. People can spend the money on an expensive piece of equipment. I mean, Justin's got thousands of dollars of equipment in his vehicle that he takes to every shoot. And his angles and everything he captures is just the beginning. And Justin can get in and out of a house within an hour and a half. But if you're an agent and you're trying to take photos yourselves to scale your business, it's super time consuming to do the editing side of things. Now you can buy the right equipment and you can have Photoshop and all these other programs, but the amount of time spent, if you're not doing it all the time, Justin shoots hundreds and hundreds of houses a month. So he's very good at it and very quick at it and efficient. Justin's not editing the photos. He's very, very good at what he does. He'll capture it. And then we've got somebody else that's doing the editing, which again, every house that we shoot is roughly 4 hours of editing. So you're talking Justin being on site for an hour or two, 4 hours of editing. You're talking about 6 hours of being involved in this photo shoot process. And we do an excellent job at it. I would almost guarantee you that the 6 hours that you spend shooting and editing, you still won't get the result that we end up getting to. So
Right.
Time, if we're looking for one word answer, Don, time.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and I love, at the beginning, I learned that aspect of how you're taking, you're using a tripod and you're taking 2 shots at different exposures, if I remember right.
Yep.
And that the shadows are gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just that aspect of it is something I can't do.
Yeah, the HDR editing that we do, it's pretty subtle in how we do it, and you can get pretty sloppy with it if you overdo it. But the way our editors work the HDR is very, I guess, classy, I guess you could say.
Right.
It's done well. But yeah, just to piggyback on what Andy said is, the editing is for sure the biggest part. Whenever I hear that an agent was taking pictures, you hear that sometimes, well, I was taking pictures of my house and, I couldn't do it anymore. And it's always the editing afterward,
right.
It's always that, because it is the most time consuming for sure.
Right.
So,
Sense.
yeah.
So if people want more information about you, where should they go? How can they contact you?
So nextdoorphotos.com is the easy answer. If you're looking for us specifically in our location, it's semi.nextdoorphotos.com. We changed it from the Livingston County and the Oakland and all of that because we actually merged all 4 locations together now in Southeast Michigan. So it's semi, SEMI, at nextdoorphotos.com is the email. Justin and my information's on there as well. Email is typically the best way to reach us in a hurry because we always have team members in our email, to where if you try to call on our cell phones and we're on a podcast with the Putkelas for 30 minutes, you can't get a hold of us. So
yeah. Great. Wonderful. Well, we'll make sure to include those in the show notes as well, so that way our listeners have access to that.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and we've learned a lot about you guys and what you do.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming. And like Angela said, it's been really informative because, we work with you guys on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, but seeing the back end of it and kind of learning a little bit more about it gives us that appreciation for it. And I think that our listeners and clients out there are going to see a video of us doing that intro video at some point here in the near future.
I'm liking
I hope
this.
so.
So we'll have to set that up.
Let's get it
sounds
going.
great.
Yeah.
Thanks again for joining us today, and welcome to Livingston.